Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Happy New Year to you. Guys, this is one of the biggest scandals of 2024. It's one of the biggest scandals in American history, and it's coming right at you. But before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please check that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@ExplainAmerica. When you get there, please hit subscribe, absolutely free. It really helps us out. President Joe Biden is a shell of what he used to be. He is a weekend at Bernie's walking, talking, barely talking, I should say, shell of what he used to be. And everybody knows it, right? We all saw it. We've seen it for the past 4 years. It was hard to hide it. And yet every week on television, people from the administration would come out and gaslight us. He can run circles around me. He's the most active man I've ever seen in my life. You know, he swam the English Channel last week, right after he climbed Mount Everest. Ridiculous things. And journalists would sit there and go, oh, really? That's amazing. Meanwhile, guys giving no press conferences, won't sit down with the press, won't talk to the press, hiding since the election, since before he was elected, since 2019, hiding in his basement, hiding behind spokespeople. And the media was like, oh, gee, gosh, guess nothing's wrong here. Now they're finally admitting, you know, this was the biggest scandal of all time, the fact that we didn't cover the obvious decline of this decrepit old man. But why are they doing that? Why are they now falling on their sword and admitting what they did? Because they want to use the old age argument against Trump, and they know they have no leg to stand on. So they have to chastise themselves first before they can use it as a cudgel against Donald Trump. It's such a silly, ridiculous, and obvious play. No, they're not going to become less partial. They're not going to become less biased. That's not why they're begging forgiveness and talking about the scandal that they were involved in. That's not the reason. The reason is because they want to be even more biased against Donald Trump. And they have to scold themselves first so that some people might take them seriously. Absolutely ridiculous. I want you to watch this video on it and let me know what you think in the comments.
I want to get to this one, Steve. A reporter for CBS News blasting the media for ignoring President Biden's cognitive decline. Listen to this.
Undercovered, underreported. That would be, to me, Joe Biden's obvious cognitive decline that became undeniable in the televised debate. And yet he insisted that he could still run for president. We should have much more forcefully questioned whether he was fit for office for another 4 years, which could have led to a primary for the Democrats.
Too late now. Steve, we talked often about Joe Biden's decline for the last few years. How is it that the rest of the media are just coming to this realization?
Oh, well, I was going to say, she said, oh, that was a big story of 2024. It was a big story in 2021, 2022, 2023. Yeah. And they all covered it up. The media covered it up. The White House shamelessly covered it up. And so now that they can't even hide it anymore and he's leaving office, now they can suddenly say, oh, well, we should have done more, or the White House should have told us sooner. It was right there to see, but they refused to see it. Shamefully, one of the biggest scandals in American history.
I totally agree. One of the biggest frauds. And now we get reports that Joe Biden regrets dropping out, says he could have beaten Trump. What do you think about that?
Well, delusional, which is why he's leaving office and Trump is coming in. Yeah. When you have ratings in the 30s and painfully seeing the men operate physically, mentally, not up to it. Yeah. And the policies speak for themselves. They're mostly a disaster, which again is why Donald Trump's taking the oath of office in a few weeks.
Good place to leave it. As always, terrific stuff, Steve Forbes. Thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you, Ash. Happy New Year.
Thank you. And same to you, sir.